Hello dear students, welcome you all. So in this lecture I am going to discuss about the proton electron theory of nucleus. Proton electron theory of atomic nucleus. Right. So here in this lecture I am going to discuss about the theory of the composition of atomic nucleus. We know very well that Rutherford alpha ray scattering experiment Rutherford alpha ray scattering experiment has proved J.J. Thomson model wrong. And according to this scattering experiment, it was found that the atom consists of you can have this as atom. According to Rutherford observations, atom consists of a very small core at its center that is containing the whole positive charge of the atom and whole mass of the atom, right? Whereas the electron are revolving around this positively charged core. This positively charged core is named as atomic nucleus. This was the outcome of Rutherford alpha ray scattering experiment, or I can say this is the Rutherford atomic model, right? In which we have a central positively charged core that is located at the center of the atom, and it is very small region at the center, right? Whereas all the electrons are revolving around this central positively charged core, and the atom as a whole is neutral. So after this experiment, now the curiosity was there to explain that what is the composition of this nucleus. Now forget about the atom, forget about the electrons outside the nucleus. Now we are interested that what is the composition of this small region. Now I am making it a bit large. So now there is a question mark that what is the composition of this atomic nucleus? What is the structure of this atomic nucleus? From what particles it is made up of? So several theories were put forward to explain about the composition of this atomic nucleus, right? So one of them is a proton electron theory, right? That I am going to discuss in this lecture, right? Now the question arises, why this proton electron theory is going to be discussed here. I'm going to discuss it here because it was the most discussed and prominent theory in explaining the structure of the nucleus. Although it was discarded later on, but it had tried to explain certain features of the properties of atomic nucleus, right? So from where this theory came? So if we look at the various properties of atomic nuclei, particularly for those atoms which are heavy, right, then we found that these atomic nuclei of heavy elements were emitting alpha, beta and gamma rays, right? And when the nature of these alpha, beta and gamma rays emitted by atomic nuclei that was positively charged was examined, it was found that these beta particles are basically fast moving either electrons or positrons, right? Now this thing gave us a clue that somehow electrons are present inside this nucleus because they were coming out of this nucleus through the beta decay, right? Beta decay. It means electron can exist inside the nucleus, or positron. Forget about the positron for time being. So it means electron exist inside the nucleus, right? So this is one thing related to proton electron theory. Now what about proton, right? So there was a chemist named as William C. Prout, right? William C. Christopher Prout, right? He was a English chemist, right? In 1815, he has published a study in which he has declared, or he has stated that the atomic weight of most of the elements known at that time was integral multiple of the atomic weight of a hydrogen atom, 1H1. Clear? So it was big thing. It means the nucleus of all the atoms, its weight is integral multiple of this thing, right? So this was actually, this research was published by William C. Prout in 1815, right? So then after, different theories came, and the proton was discovered, right? So the proton was actually got its name from Prout, right? Because Prout has gave this hydrogen atom as a name, prototyl, right? So I was saying that this word protyl, Protyle, this has been given by William C. Prout to the hydrogen atom, right? Which was later on in 1920, named as a proton by Ernest Rutherford, right? So somehow you can see the word proton, it is linked with the William C. Prout, because he has coined this term protyl, right, for the hydrogen atom, But then after with different theories and discoveries, ultimately it was proved that this hydrogen atom is basically a combination of proton and electron, and the entire mass of the hydrogen atom is because of proton, right? So that's why this proton name was given to the nucleus of a hydrogen atom, right? That is 1H1 protium, right? So now this proton word has came from here. Now I am hopeful that you got this clarity. So when we were trying to explain the structure of the nucleus, this now proton electron theory. So I told you about the electron, the proton word came from here. But as according to William C. Prout, the atomic nucleus, we know it contains the whole mass of the atom. So and it is a integral multiple of the mass, or we can say weight of hydrogen atom. So it means this proton is present inside the atomic nucleus, right? Obviously then it can be the integral multiple of this 1H1, right? So this approach tell us that or it give us the idea that the atomic nucleus, it is made up of positively charged particle protons and negatively charged particle electrons, right? Now there was one more feature in the atom, that when we found the weight of the atom, it was found that it is nearly integral multiple of A, right? So as we know that when the atomic weight of different atom was examined experimentally, it was found that it is very close to a number A, that is mass number, and it is very close, integral multiple we can say in some cases, or it is slightly deviated to A. It means, right, that A number of proton must be present inside the nucleus. Why? Because the whole mass or whole weight of the atom is because of the atomic nucleus. So from here, from this experimental results, we got the idea that the nucleus should contain A number of protons. One thing is clear, A protons, right? But now this makes one thing difficult. If the nucleus has A protons, it means its charge should be A. It should be have a charge of plus A, right? Because one proton has charge plus 1, right? So it has plus A charge. But we know the atom as a whole is neutral, right? If A charge is on the nucleus, it means A electron should revolve around the nucleus. But we know from the experimental results that the electron that are revolving around the nucleus is equal to Z. That is the number of atomic number of the atom. So at that time, right, it was assumed that the atomic nucleus, I am showing the peak of atomic nucleus. You can see here atomic nucleus. This is atomic nucleus. So it was assumed at that time that this atomic nucleus is consist of, this is atomic nucleus. It consists of A protons plus A minus Z electrons, right? So obviously the charge on the atomic nucleus will be equal to plus Z, right? Because A protons, A minus Z electrons, right? Now, there are some electrons which are revolving around the nucleus. So, Z extra electrons, right? Z electrons, they are, I can say Z electrons, they are revolving around the nucleus. I can give you an example. Suppose I have an atom 7 nitrogen 14, right? So according to this theory, proton electron theory, right, as A is this and Z is this, it means the nucleus should have 14 protons plus 14 minus 7 electrons, means 14 proton plus 7 electrons, and 7 electrons, they are revolving around the Z electrons, means 7 electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So if we look at the nucleus, 14 proton plus 7 electron, so charge on the nucleus is plus 7 E. So atom as a whole is neutral. So this is the proton electron theory of atomic nucleus. According to this theory, the atomic nucleus consists of A proton plus A minus Z electrons, and Z extra electrons are revolving around the nucleus. It was the time when there was no discovery of neutrons, right? It was discovered later on. So I will cover that in the coming lectures. So at till this point, when we are giving this proton electron theory, the scientific community, all of us was unaware about the neutron, right? So this is proton electron theory or proton electron hypothesis, right? So you can see here. Now, this theory, what are the successes of this theory? The main success of this theory was, as according to this theory, the atomic nucleus contain proton and electrons. It means now electron can come out of a nucleus. So it successfully explained the beta decay process, right? Because as the nucleus was emitting beta particles, right? So the nucleus was emitting beta particle because electrons were present inside the nucleus. So this removed this hurdle, this problem in the nuclear physics. But when other properties of the nucleus were examined, right, whether they were examined experimentally or theoretically, then this was found that this proton electron theory was violating all the theoretical as well as experimental predictions that were available there. So later on, this proton electron theory was discarded because of all these contradictions, right? And it was proved that electron cannot exist inside the nucleus. So we will cover it in the coming coming lecture, that why electron cannot exist inside the nucleus. But till now, till in this lecture, we have learned that atomic nucleus consists of protons and electrons. So this is called proton electron theory, and the main basis for this theory was the beta decay process, right? And the research done by William C. Prout, right, who has led to the foundation or discovery of proton later on in the 20th century, right? So this is all about the proton electron theory. Thank you very much.